y'all, welcome back to Light and Heavy. This is day 14 in the Total Consecration series. And man, today's meditation, today's reading, so good. I can't tell you how much I thoroughly enjoyed today's reading. I read it over and over again. And it's something that I've been really wanting to talk about on this channel, but I've been talking about it in person. I've been trying to internalize it more and more and trying to preach it because I feel like we are really, really missing this in our society. And that's obedience. Now, I had a priest friend of mine, I was talking to him about the understanding of what obedience is. And he kind of quipped and said, you know, Jason, obedience and being obedient is really easy when you agree with it. Obedience is real obedience when you don't agree with it and you still submit to it. And I think he's right. I think being obedient is really effective. And when you really know someone is obedient, when they have to follow through with something, even when they may not fully agree with it or are fully on board with it, but they know that they are submissive to that superior. And today's reading is no exception. And I gotta read this very first part because when you hear this, you're gonna go, this is what it says. It says, son, he who strives to withdraw himself from obedience withdraws himself from grace. Ooh. And he goes on to talk about how if we can't be obedient to our superiors, how in the world do we think we're going to be obedient to ourselves, to really die to ourselves? And then ultimately in the bigger scope, how are we going to be obedient to God when we can't even be obedient to our boss or to our parents or to our spouse or to anyone else? Now know that obedience does not mean that I'm just their slave and I do whatever they want. It goes to the extent of their authority. And I'm reminded of when Jesus says in the Gospels, when someone asked him, well, you know, how much should we pay our taxes to Caesar? What are we supposed to give to Caesar? And Jesus says, whose image is on this coin? And they say Caesar. And he says, give unto Caesar what is due to Caesar and give unto God what is due to God. And I love the language in there. It says, you know, whose likeness is this? And that refers to, it draws us back to God who made us in his image and likeness. So when it comes to material things and that sort of stuff, that even though, yes, you know, God created us and thus we are able to create stuff. And we're supposed to give that back. That's why we're called to pay taxes and to be good citizens and stewards of, you know, of the authorities within our city, local, state, and even national governments. So long as it doesn't supersede or go against our faith and morals, which is God, because Christ says, give unto God what is due to God. And we know that our likeness, our very soul, everything was created and formed by God. And the final thing I want to say about this, and going back to the meditation and the reading here, I'm going to paraphrase it just because I don't want to get copyright or anything. St. Louis de Montfort says that if we fail, if we can't be obedient to even our superiors, then basically we're saying we're better than Jesus. Because the God of the universe, the God who has always been, always is, and always will be, the creator of everything out of nothingness, took on flesh and dwelt among us. And he was obedient. He was obedient to a father figure, to a mother, to his mother. He was obedient to the emperor. He was obedient to the scribes and the Pharisees to the extent that he was called to be. But he never usurped them. He was obedient even unto Caesar, what was due to Caesar. But he always was obedient first and foremost to his heavenly Father and gave everything to his heavenly Father. And so that's really my prayer, is that we can be more obedient to the Father. That if we can learn to be obedient to our superiors and our officials, then we can be obedient to God. And when we're obedient to God, then we can be docile and ready to receive our mother, Mary. All right, that will do it. Hopefully that all made sense. Thank y'all so much for watching. Leave a comment down below if you have any prayer intentions, anything you want to share, and don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until tomorrow, I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Bye.